Okay, guys, so I think we're live here at the moment. So I'm just checking on my phone and we make sure everything is working, and then we'll get straight into it. So everyone welcome in for a start off, and we're live and the volume is down so we won't get any feedback. Okay, guys, so first off, thanks for everyone who's dropped in early. I'm sure there'll be a few more people popping in as the show goes on. As the title says, I'm joined by Tom from Iscrap app, and I'd like to thank him for giving up some of his time for this 30 minutes. So first off, guys, hit the like. If you're not already on the Iscrap app YouTube channel, make sure you get that. I'll put a link at the end of it for you to check out his YouTube channel. And if you haven't got the app, if you're into the scrapping, it's the app to have. So without any more delay, I'm going to straight away bring up Tom. So we'll bring Tom up. Tom, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for being in.
Pleasure.
First off, again, as I said in the background, thanks for giving up your time. We know you're busy, and it's 3 p.m. over there, which is still your work time. So thanks a lot for giving your time up to me and to the subscribers who are popping in there. So what I'm going to start off with is, in your own words, where or how did you get into scrapping?
Sure. So my dad started a scrapyard back in 1977, and I was working here in the early 90s on the old scales, pushing the ones back and forth. Dad would bring me down on a Saturday, give me $20 and a McDonald's breakfast, and I'd be the guy with the broom cleaning up everybody's mess and doing whatever dirty job that no one else wanted to do. That was my first job. And from there, I just worked at the yard throughout the years, every summer on Saturdays. And once I got into college, all my spring breaks, my summer vacations, my winter vacations, and came here after college. And I've been working full time since 2007 in the scrap world. It's been really interesting, but I've been around it my entire life. I don't remember not being around scrap metal, because from the day I was born, that's what my dad did.
Okay, so you took over the company, is it in 2007?
Correct.
Okay, and that would have been just before the crash came.
Yeah.
Or just as the crash was starting in America.
Yeah.
I think you were a year ahead of us over here
Yes.
in Europe. You were the first to feel the crunch.
We were.
How did the crash affect your business?
The crash was fast, hard, and took a long time to recoup. I mean, at the time, I had a couple guys working for me, but I laid everyone off, and I was by myself for about 8-9 months, working 80-90 hours a week. And I've told this story dozens of times, where over that 10-month period, what it ended up being was a total profit of $5,000 after paying rent and insurance and everything else. But the hustle that I put in 80 to 90 hours a week, many of the people that are watching this or going to watch this afterwards, or follow our YouTube page, or they follow us on Iscrap, or they download the app and they get the notifications, they see that right around that time, I started to become transparent. I started to kind of get ideas so I could show my customers how they can make more money with their scrap. And you've probably been around scrap for a long time. It's a very old school, antiquated, and very caveman-like business, and change was not welcome. But once we started pushing our prices online back in 2007 into 2008, I saw that my cycle of picking up business actually started a little quicker than some of my friends / competitors, because we're all competitors in this industry. Whether you're a scrapper or a scrap yard, you might be friendly, but you still want to get each other's jobs. When we saw that happening, we started doing the transparency, and we started to tell people what we were going to pay them before they got here. And that's what rolled into Iscrap, which over the last almost 10 years has rolled into what we see today.
Okay, so we'd say you wanted to make it more transparent, because we say over here, and I know in the UK, if you go to a scrapyard, people can be aggressive in the scrapyard. They don't want to give you they don't want to give you what you might be asking. They might give you a different price over the phone, and you turn up and it's a completely different person you're dealing with at the yard, and it's a different price. So you decided to go transparent. Did you find that a lot of the other scrapyards weren't happy with you going transparent?
It was one of the funniest things that I've seen back in 2011 or 2010. I was in Los Angeles at a trade show, and while many scrapyards were excited about the concept of being on an app, many scrapyards came to me, with very heavy, harsh words of, how dare you share this secret knowledge with our customers? We want to make money off of them. We don't want them to make money off of us. And I just told a lot of people from then until now, my audience isn't the scrapyards. My audience that we care about is the scrapper, my customer here at my scrapyard in New Jersey. But as Iscrap, our goal is to help the scrappers make more money. So we've made hundreds of videos, hundreds of blog posts, posting dozens of prices that get updated every day online. This way the transparency is there, because what we found was so many scrappers would go online and they would just, do a web search for copper prices, and you would get a COMEX pricing out there. And today you'll see a COMEX of $3.03 per pound. And that never translated to the yard pricing, and they never understood why. So by explaining and having categories along with 30-day price charts at Iscrap, we could show people how Iscrap works simultaneously to doing our yard rockaway recycling. And it was able to give people a little more security before they showed up. It's like car buying nowadays. You go to buy a car, you can just do a web search and see how much money other people are paying or have paid for a car that you now want. So when you show up to the dealer, the back and forth, that banter is really gone, because you know what the price should be. And if they come to you with a price that's close to what it should be, it eliminates the haggling, and eliminates the hassle and the frustration. And that's what we did with the scrap prices.
Yeah, so we say you came up with the Iscrap app, and in your own words again, how would you say is the benefit for anyone out there who doesn't already have this app? What will they see as a benefit of downloading this app onto their phone?
Sure. So whether you are in the United States or the United Kingdom or any other part of Europe, if you have Iscrap on there, it does a couple of things for you. We have push notifications that gives you the ability to know when copper prices jump up, go sideways, or go down, right? We do it for steel, aluminum, and the other base metals. On top of that, when you log on, you can go to our national price page. And these are prices that are pulled from all different parts of the country, that scrappers, they put the prices into the app for free. They in turn get back information. Oh, the markets are up, the markets are down. So it gives them the ability through the push notifications to know where the markets are, whether it's catalytic converters, gold pricing, aluminum, steel, copper, anything. We try to always have these notifications go out, along with our own weekly video on Wednesday afternoons, 1 p.m. Eastern time here in the US, to let people know what's going on week over week in the market. Because it's so hard to go to your scrapyard where they could be busy already. The guy at the scale, he might not know what's going on with the market. He might only be paying whatever his boss told him to. So we've been able to open up that transparency to an industry that otherwise has been closed for a century.
Yeah. And you brought up there about the catalytic converters, and that was a question I was going to ask later on, but now that you brought it up, I'll ask it now. I was watching one of your videos last night. I don't know, did you put out last night a video? I think you did yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, every Sunday we do a video.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the catalytic converters and people to ring with their number off the catalytic converter. So because I know a few scrappers there, I've watched a few of their videos who are in the chat, and they pick up catalytic converters from time to time. And they go to a scrapyard and they're relying on the scrapyard giving them a price. So how does that number on the catalytic converter help them to work out a price themselves even?
Sure. So that number, going to the scrapyard with a number, let's say GD3, that's a catalytic converter that comes off of a Toyota Prius. Knowing what that number is gives you the ability to hopefully hook up with the scrapyard or find a scrapyard. Like here in the States, we have our sister company, rrcats.com, and we have a serial number database that we use where we know what some of the metal recoveries are. So we know how much that cat should be worth to us. We take our profit off and then we pay it out. Where what's happened over the years, so many scrapyards from what we found have three categories: aftermarkets, low grade, and high grade. And they'll pay, $5 for an aftermarket, $30 for a low grade and $100 for a high grade. And most of the time, the scrap yards don't know what catalytic converters they're buying because it's not something that they pay attention to. They know that they're worth money. It's almost a bonus to them. I know a lot of my friends have held boxes, hundreds, thousands of catalytic converters, not knowing what the values are. But by finding a partner, finding a scrapyard that does, it gives you a little more ability to make more money. And that's really why Iscrap exists nowadays, to teach scrappers how to make more money with their existing metal.
Okay. And where do you see your app in the future? Do you see you adding more stuff to it? Do you see you integrating more into, do you see other businesses integrating your app into their business?
You know, right now we've partnered up with a few other companies, whether it's, you know, hauling junk away where there would be no metal, but there's still a charge. But we've been able to work with a lot of other scrap yards. But over the years, we've really focused in on the scrapper. We've focused in on providing the day-to-day scrapper. I know that over in Europe, I did a presentation in Germany almost 10 years ago. I believe it was called the cash customer. It was the phrase in Germany that they referred to. Showing that group of people, you know, millions of people essentially across the world who are scrapping, whether it's plastic, paper, or metal, showing them what's going on with the industry where they're busy during the day. You know, I'm sitting here with my screens in front of me, 2 screens to my right, screen behind me, servers, you know, all this, the whole 9 yards. I follow the metals, I follow the news, I follow the prices daily. And a lot of the scrappers, they're out doing their jobs, whether they're, you know, plumbers or electricians are scrapping full time. They don't follow these things. So what we've done at Iscrap, we've continued to push these push notifications out to let you know where the markets are. Twice a week, like you mentioned, we have our reports. On Wednesdays, we give reports that are generally live so people can ask questions. And then on Sundays, we try to do our prices. This way people know where the markets are if you just want to tune in and check it out. So we've been really developing that, listening to feedback from all of the scrappers so we can develop more of that information, and that's where we're really focused.
Okay. And we'd say you've been in the scrap industry, as you said already, since you were a little toddler, running around the scrapyard. And besides technology, what do you think are the biggest changes in the scrapyard industry in general, like in scrapping or in scrap yards?
Laws and safety. Laws and safety are going to be, you know, two of the biggest things here at my scrapyard, Rockaway Recycling. You know, whether we have our weekly meeting or talking about daily things, you know, the safety inside of the scrap yard is going to really dictate how scrappers can get more money and feel comfortable at those locations. And by pushing the safety out and having lanes, whether it's COVID that we're talking about nowadays, and having carts properly disinfected, or just learning about things differently, that's going to be one of the biggest things that we can see.
Okay, so and I'm dancing over here. I have a few questions wrote down. So I just want to make sure I'm getting everything. Yeah, so YouTube, we'd say we're both on YouTube. We're on YouTube chatting now. So again, there's not many scrapyards use YouTube and stuff as their way of connecting with customers. So what made you decide YouTube was a way of doing it?
Transparency, and it's always on there. It holds you accountable. It lets you have price references. It lets you have date references. You know, I had a question recently from someone, and they said, off the top of your head, what are the highest prices you remember for some metals? And I remember paying $3.75 for Bear Bright, where today our yard is paying $2.72. You know, over $1 difference, that's a big difference, but yet we know that's years removed from where it was. So YouTube has given us the ability to share information with people and make the scrapping industry more transparent than it is. You know, it's so funny. It's one of the few industries where you show up and get money as a customer, opposed to showing up and paying money. So when you work so hard, as we've seen our Facebook group, our emails that come in, phone calls, letters, people love scrap. And people love learning about scrap. And we here in the United States at Iscrap in Canada, we've been able to use YouTube as such an incredible tool to help people make more money. I mean, I see Shark Scrapper here. I appreciate, the compliments of, seeing how you've used it. And we know that not everyone is going to use it the way that it was designed for. And that's been the beauty of it. People have been able to use Iscrap to learn about things they didn't know they could even make money on. And that's where we've been able to really dedicate our focus on building content, videos, and real prices, not just online, false prices that you might see in a Wall Street Journal, but prices that people are getting at the scrapyard has really made a big difference.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I had I thought of his name, Chris from Boardsort.
Okay.
So we'd say I'm more into the e-waste side of things, and we'd say your scrapyard there now. Does your scrapyard take e-waste, or do you ignore the e-waste side of it, or what way do you work on the e-waste?
No, we're a heavy e-waste buyer. We're actually a R2 certified company. It took us almost 2 years to be able to get that certification, to be able to track our e-waste from start to finish and make sure that it gets recycled. Boardsort, I know them. I've never talked to Chris myself, but I've read dozens and dozens of reviews about them, just learning about the industry, and they go about things a completely different way. I think that a lot of scrapyards, there's a couple of things that scrapyards don't know. They don't know gold bearing items. They don't know silver bearing items, the catalytic converters, the things outside of the ABCs. I use the ABCs in scrap: aluminum, brass, copper, and steel, ABCs. And those 4 primary metals really group what most of scrappers are selling on a day-to-day basis. So someone like Chris has focused on a completely different letter, went to G and went for the gold, and S for the silver, where we do things different. We do a lot of different things here at Rockaway Recycling. But at Iscrap, we try to show everyone where the prices are across the board. This way they can know all different things and learn about gold prices. We'll also touch on oil pricing, because oil and gas pricing is so incredibly important to what's going on, along with whether it's tariffs or import or export problems. These are things that we like to mention when we do our weekly reports, whether they're written or over video, just to give people the ability to know what's going on with the broader market, where higher oil prices could affect their steel, but sometimes it could affect it in 2 different ways, and we like to share what's going on at the time.
And we'd say your company will be a face-to-face, dealing with the customer face-to-face.
Yes.
And how do you find dealing with the customer nowadays, who has all this information, compared to dealing with a customer years ago who didn't have all this information? Is it harder to get the best price for yourself, do you find now, because of that?
It's not. It's actually been quite the opposite of what you think it would be. While there always are going to be problems, we had a gentleman last week that swore that he had bronze, and he read online that he had bronze, but it turned out being yellow brass. Talking to customers, showing them what red brass is versus yellow brass, showing them the difference between THHN and Romex, and having things stripped differently. Stripping wire and having stripped copper wire could mean 2 or 3 different things. It could be bare bright, could have a heavy corrosion on it, or it could be silver or tin coated wire. And explaining these things online by giving people tools, information, price charts, which we've done at Iscrap, 30-day price histories, videos and pictures along with descriptions. This way, when they show up and they say, hey, I have a clean #1 tubing, but when the scrapyard turns in, they look to the side and there's oil going through it, or there's some type of debris or sediment going through it, it's no longer #1 tubing. And if the customer chose to ignore that part of the description, or the user, the scrapper, well, that's on them. And that's where the scrapyards go back and forth. But here at my scrapyard, through Iscrap, through Rockaway Recycling, through our tutorials, we've been able to really open up, where we've grown in size year over year. And we've had very little problems, maybe a little pushback when we make changes. A few years ago, we changed our computer wire where there was less copper inside, and we were losing money on it. And it took 6 to 12 months to recondition customers to separate their material so they could make more money instead of having it mixed together. We took a hit for about 6 months while teaching them, but ultimately over the last 3 years, we've had no problems. And that's what I've learned. People want information. They want to know what they're paying in taxes. They want to know what they're paying at the gas pump. They want to know what their groceries cost, what their cell phone bill costs. The more information that people have, especially when it comes to money, they're going to be a better customer. And for us, our goal is to make a better, more informed, smart customer that shows up, has their materials sorted ahead of time, which makes our life easier at the scrapyard, which means my men, my team doesn't have to work as hard because they can dump it immediately and they don't have to separate it. Those are the things that we have found that have made the world of difference.
Yeah, you touched there on the sorting part, because that was something Chris brought up. If they sort the stuff before they come, he's able to give them the best price then, because it's all sorted. He doesn't have to pay labor to get it sorted.
Save labor.
Yeah, save labor, and they can move on to something else and stuff like that. So that's something you'd probably advise anyone listening out there before they go to their scrapyard. Have it sorted, have it correctly.
Absolutely. And you know what we've learned here at Rockaway Recycling, when customers come and they don't know what they have, we give them one time. We give them one shot where we'll dedicate one employee to show them for 5 to 10 minutes, not only how to sort their material, but also just a little 5-minute, tour. Here are the other things that we buy. Here's how you can make more money with them. And similar to what you're talking about with Chris, if a scrapper takes a computer tower and you dismantle it, you make more money. But that takes more time and it might not be worth the investment. And those are the things that people have to look at.
Yeah, sometimes like just cutting a few ends off electric wire will make a big difference to the
Big difference. Big difference.
I mean, that's something quick and easy,
quick and easy, and you got to have a pair of snippers. But what we've told people is most scrap yards aren't going to let you work on site. They're not going to let you stripping wire in the parking lot or cutting things at the door. So if you have it sorted ahead of time, you're going to make more money. But what we've learned is people show up, they have it sorted, we'll help them, we'll teach them. But if they do it the same time next time, well, then that's on them because they're lazy.
Yeah. They're just, I could use a few other words.
Yeah, I could too, but I'm keeping it PG because there's a chance my kids watch this.
So my last few questions is going to be, well, you kind of touched on it really when you say about the thing, but any advice to anyone out there who's thinking about getting into scrapping? Is it something that a living can still be made out of? I know it's a lot harder to make a living out of the normal, where the scrap man used to go around and collect the bits on the side of the road and stuff like that. There's a lot more people doing it. Is it still something that you can see that a normal person could make a living out of, or is it just a sideline?
I think there's no such thing as, capping yourself. I mean, I have customers that make a lot of money scrapping, whether it's part-time or full-time. And what I've learned is it's how hard you hustle. The harder you hustle, the more money that you're going to make. When I was working 80 to 90 hours a week, making nothing, essentially paying my bills and breaking even, at the time, that was a win. So a lot of people get to use scrap as a supplement to their income. We have a lot of people that work for delivery companies, or they work for different towns, but they're able to scrap on the side. And this gives them the ability to do that. But I mean, you can make money in anything and everything, as long as you plan on working your tail off and learning about it.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in the future in this? Do you see yourself opening more scrap yards? Do you see yourself maybe coming up with another app there? Have you another app in the background you want to tell us about, or anything like that?
No. Right now I'm not focused on expanding size wise. We're focusing on expanding our digital footprint to be able to teach more people about things. That's what we have found has been one of the most useful and long-term sustainable things that we're able to do. Having another scrapyard means that I have another team, another set of overheads, another set of safety risks, another set of people to worry about. And that's not in my immediate plans. I've thought about it for years, but right now we've grown our industry enough here where between the physical scrapyard and the digital world of Iscrap, we have plenty of expansion in the horizon. We have a couple of price charts that are going to be coming out over the next 3 to 6 months, where we've been recording and giving you more prices, as well as expanding some of the metals, expanding some of the descriptions, creating more content, because people want to learn. You might show someone something in one video where they might look the same, but subconsciously you pick up on something and you make more money. That's what we're focusing on.
And how do you find the YouTube interaction with the comments coming? Do you find it all mostly positive, or
Yes. I
sometimes
mean,
you go,
listen,
oh, how do I do this? Like,
no, I never look at it that way because haters are always going to be out there. They're always going to have negative opinions. They're always going to have something that makes you want to, go back and address them. We tend to focus on the positive because we know that the internet is a place for people to hide while posting behind pseudonyms and their handles. We don't focus on those negative things, but we don't ignore them either, because those negative opinions, those negative questions, those negative comments, we might be doing something that could be better. And we've been able to learn from those. I tell the team, whether it's online or in person, don't tell me about the good things. Tell me about the bad things so we can either address them or change them. And don't forget, I mean, we have people that report their prices all the time, and they use Iscrap as a tool to be able to remember what they got the last time they were there because they threw their receipt away. So a lot of people, if they're selling light iron, sheet iron, copper, and they're always selling the same items, they're able to post those prices online and make more money because they remember what they got.
okay, well, I've asked as many questions as I need to ask tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the link out there. Sometimes some people come up and they ask a few questions.
Yeah,
Other
great.
times they're a bit shy. So is there anything you want to talk about that I haven't touched on, or is there anything in general you want to talk about in the scrap world?
The scrap world is one of the most interesting places that I've ever been in. I have a lot of friends that work in offices and whether it's Wall Street or across a broad spectrum of larger industries. And a lot of their stories are regular day-to-day work stories. I went in, I looked at my monitor at my desk, my eyes hurt, I took a break at the coffee, and then I went back to it. Where scrap is exciting. Every day at my scrap yard at Iscrap, we do the same thing and completely different at the same time. Whether it's new material coming in, whether it's new questions being asked, whether it's new ideas, thoughts, comments that get poured in online that we can look at and react to, along with new technology that gives us the ability to get more information from people. By having our push notifications, which we activated a few months ago at Iscrap, people always ask us, hey, how do I know when the price has changed? I don't want to just go online and update the website every day or go to the app. But now by having the push notifications, it gives people the ability to get right on their phone. Copper price is up 8 cents. Copper price is down 3 cents. Copper even. That little information, whether you open the app or you don't, but you use it as a baseline. And even if you're in Europe, who cares that the dollars aren't going to equate, right? Look at the ups, the downs, and the evens. That gives you a little more of an idea of where the market is today, at least in the United States and Canada. And like you said, you might have been a little behind us. It gives you a little to work on and to look at when you move forward. And we have a lot of people asking us, one of our biggest questions, when should I sell? Okay. Is the market good? Should I sell now? Number one, I don't care when you sell because I'm not making money on your scrap. So if you need the money, if you think the prices are high, great. We give advice, but we don't own the advice. We tell people, listen, the markets are up. They're currently at 18-month highs, so why not do it?
Okay, so we're joined by Shark Scrapper, who made a comment that he uses your app all the time. So, Shark, have you something you want to ask this man?
Well, first of all, Tom, I'll just show you. I've got the app right there. Got it up.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My man.
So, Tom, how much do you pay attention to the rare earth type things, tantalums, niobium, that kind of stuff? Or is that something that you're looking at getting into, or you just think it's not a big enough market to deal with right now?
Oh, at our scrapyard, we're buying it, regularly. We buy all types of high temperature rare earth alloys. But what we have found through Iscrap is it's not a day-to-day thing for most people that are scrapping. Most people aren't finding tantalum in the material they're doing. They think they might have a couple of capacitors, but then you got to figure, is it the right color yellow? Is it the right size? So those are things that are really difficult. We've tried to push information to people, whether it's about carbide, which tends to be a day-to-day one, or some basic high-temperature stainless materials like a 316. But once you get into the invars, the covars, the tantalums, the Inconels, the Monels, that is a different beast where most day-to-day scrappers, which are our primary users, are not looking at that. So we'll talk about those things, but we don't dive into them because at the end of the day, you're looking at less than 1% of the people that are touching them, and we like to give information to the majority.
Yeah, and you know, if you're not pulling it off of a circuit board where you've got some chance of understanding what it was, sometimes some of that stuff is just, you know, stainless steel. Sometimes it's stainless steel, right? How do you tell what type? Unless
without an analyzer, it's very hard.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm not going to go spend that kind of money.
No, you don't. Not an extra 25 grand just hanging around to go pick that thing up, huh? But you know what? That's where we have told people. Work with scrap yards that are willing to shoot and analyze your materials. You know, people so often they show up and they get shortchanged only to learn later about these things. And it's so easy to just call and ask a question.
Yeah, yeah. So, hello, Rafa.
Hey.
Welcome, ladies and gents. Great to see you all. Welcome, Tom. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Hey, Sharky. Hey, Irish. Question from me.
Sure.
Do you guys cooperate somehow on the paper or without the papers with local scrappers?
What do you mean with local scrappers? I'm not sure what you mean.
For example, if I show up at your scrapyard and buying some e-waste from you.
Yep. Yes.
For the further process and then sell it back on the.
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
We do not resell to the public here at our scrapyard. We found that there's too many problems that could arise, whether they're tax complications or people want to come back and they want to return things. That's what we found. Some of my friends that have, you know, done that in the past. So at my scrapyard, we buy, we scrap, repeat. We don't resell to the public ever.
And that brings a question up for me, actually. So what do you do with all your recycling? Is it dealt internally in the US or do you export your scrap?
I deal internally in the US. Some of the people that I deal with here in the US, they export. But for me, I stay based in the United States. It makes it a little easier for me. I've learned that when you start to work with some exporters, I've heard a lot of problems with some of my friends. They get paid up front, then there's claims. There's things that I tend not to want to go into. My life is too complicated already.
It's always problem with shipping, right?
I'll put the link out. The link is actually still there. If anyone wants to come up, I'm going to only hold Tom for about 5 more minutes because he's a busy man and there's stuff to be doing. I don't want to be taking up all the time.
I love talking about this stuff. I mean, my wife, I've learned not to talk about scrap at home because unless I'm telling her dollars and cents, she just doesn't care. So you realize who your audience is, right? Literally and figuratively in this case. And what we have learned is the scrap world, this bubble that we're in, right? We care. Whether we're talking to scrappers, whether we're talking to people at the door, plumbers, roofers, siders, electricians, people that are interested. They want to learn about things. You know, we see people taking apart microwaves and then they ask us, hey, is it worth doing this? And we say, well, what's your time worth? You know, what do you get paid per hour? Are you getting paid? If you're getting paid $20 an hour and you spend 1 hour breaking down material, did you make an extra $20? And that's been something that I've pushed out there for the last 10 years because so many people will make a few extra bucks, but it might not always be worth their time. What is your time worth? If you have nothing else to do, then it might not have a value. If you love doing it, it might not have a value. But if you want to make more money, we see people cutting apart electric motors. That's a real pain in the ass, but you can make more money. You know, an electric motor has 10% copper, 90% steel. So if it's a 10-pound motor, you got, you know, a pound of copper, 9 pounds of steel. You do the math. Is it worth your time? And that's what we try to teach people. And again,
you mentioned motors there. I've noticed, and a lot of the scrappers have noticed, that a lot of the motors now coming in is what we call Chinesium, which is
aluminum. Chinesium, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's the word that's used a lot in the group, Chinesium.
So I try to go a little more politically correct with that, but it certainly gave me a good laugh.
Yeah, well, we've noticed it's no longer copper. So when someone comes to the scrapyard to you, are you able to tell straight away by looking at that motor whether that is proper copper that's in that motor or whether it's the Chinesium?
Yes and no. It depends on the user. And, if we have a lot of HVAC contractors coming here, taking apart air conditioners, we found that most of them have been copper. If we have people coming here with some motors from an old broken saw, a little motor from something over here, it's a mix of everything. That's when we have to pay a little more attention. And at the same time, when you look at this stuff, do you really need to argue with people over pennies at that point? If it's 10 cents for a copper motor or it's 8 cents for an aluminum electric motor, who gives a rip? We're talking about 20, 30 cents. You buy it at the scrapyard, loses it. Who cares, So that's how we look at it. We don't look at it every single item. We look at the group, and as long as we're winning 90, 95% of the time, just keep on keeping on.
Good answer.
True.
Chinesium, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's our. I think it was Ralph Morick. He's one of the subscribers who came up with that name one night. So it's kind of stuck in the group.
True. Everyone use it now.
Everyone. I mean, listen. I certainly will use it. Maybe not on my weekly broadcast, but I will chuckle about it. I mean, listen. My sister works with me. My dad started a company back in 1977. So, between the three of us, we have 65, 75 years of scrapping, right? And when you look at this stuff, the one thing that I've learned is that the people we deal with are salt of the earth, regular, good, hardworking people. And when you teach good, hardworking people, whether it's Shark, Rafael, you teach someone how to make more money, they're going to want to continue to tune in and learn from you. And our goal at my scrapyard, I tell my employees all the time, our job is to make our customers as much money as possible, because that means that they will do work for us, which means we have to spend less of our time and less of our money. And it makes it safer and easier to use. A customer comes in, they dump their stuff out, they go to the next bin. There's no sorting. Transparency has been the key, not only to our scrapyard growing, but Iscrap growing, having over 1 million downloads over the last 10 years. No scrap app has anything like that, because most of the other ones are just, pet projects, where we have it as a full-fledged business servicing hundreds of thousands of scrappers a month, tuning in, whether it's to our prices, finding scrap yards, or learning about the markets. And teaching and having transparency will continue to drive this industry, will continue to drive Iscrap, and that's what our focus has been over the last 9 years.
Okay, so
I
have a
question in the chat for you from Poosmate.
Go on. What is it?
I said there is one question from the Poosmate in the chat.
Can I have a question?
3, 4.
What's the most unusual? The Poosmate wants to know what's the most unusual thing that you've got in the that someone has scrapped.
Okay, everyone remember the Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Big movie set. We got a 4-foot elf from the Lord of the Rings.
Made out of what?
The quiver and everything. It was made out of pewter, and it was one of the craziest things I ever saw. Not only did I buy it incorrectly, we ended up losing. I kept a piece of it. I actually have it right here. It's a sword that was inside of the holster there, and I've had it in front of my desk for years. But it was full of sand. There were steel pieces and wood and all types of stuff. It was just one of those neat things. Do I still have it? Only the sword. I scrapped it because that's what I do with everything.
I was about to ask you that question. Is there anything that comes in and you go, I'm not going to scrap that? Or are you like me, no matter what you get, it's just counted as scrap. It's gone.
There are a handful of things that I've kept. I actually got an anvil in last week, and I did keep the anvil. It's at the base of my stairs. I've kept a few small other things. We got a 10-pound block of copper in scrap one time. I kept that on my desk, so if I ever need a quick $20, I can throw it back into the pile and cash it in. But we've had anvils. We did a job a few years ago where when Hurricane Sandy hit here in New Jersey, we scrapped hundreds of ATVs, motorcycles, dirt bikes, and jet skis that were brand new.
And plus, that copper bar could be great self-defense with some unhappy clients.
We never saw it. We destroyed it, went to the shredder, because at the end of the day, I make my money on scrap, not on resale.
Yeah.
But it is fun. You get to find some cool stuff.
As you said, you don't do resale or anything like that. But talking about, bringing it back to something about the catalytic converters. Sure. You find, like here in Ireland, UK, and Europe, catalytic converters being stolen from cars is a big issue. So people are. I'm a member of a group on Facebook, and it's a scrap chat group, and you'll see people taking photos of catalytic converters and saying, "Is this worth anything?" And it's still on the car when they're taking the photo of it. So they're obviously waiting to see what someone say, "Oh, that's worth £100," and that's going to be stolen off car. So how do you deal with them sort of problems? Do you have issues with people coming in trying to sell you stolen goods in general?
Often, but here's the thing: we do not buy material from anyone without a valid U.S. ID, because at the end of the day, if I do 100 jobs in a week, I'm not going to allow one person to hurt, the other 99, because that's it. So the police, believe it or not, they like that we have such a level of detail. We have driver's licenses, pictures. We have an ATM that pays cash to our customers. We have the ability to track so many different things. And the police and the local authorities, the sheriff departments, they like working with us because we help them catch the bad guys like that. And the catalytic converters like you're talking about, people send us pictures like that all the time. We don't quote them. We'll only quote you if it's taken off and if it's your cat, because I'm not quoting based off of a picture you found online or a car that you're standing in front of. We're here to do good business the right way, and we've been doing that for years, and we don't plan on changing it.
Hey, Tom, with that in mind, would you tell the guys at our cat to send me my driver's license back when they get the box this week? I've forgotten, left it in there.
I hope not, but you and I look joking. I know.
I did put a picture of it in there for you.
Pictures are perfect. That's what we need. That's what we take and we record. This way we protect everyone in that case.
So
at my place, there is not such a big problem with the cats, but every time when you show up at the scrapyard with the burnt copper or burnt wire or something like that, before you wait in, the police will wait after you on the gate.
Wow. We found that the police haven't asked us to call when someone's there for things like that. They ask us to record. So if they come in and they found out that someone is burning copper, they have the ability to get, details and tickets. And we work with the police every single week. We welcome to. They protect us. So if we can help, protect other people, the one time you go to get in your car and you turn it on, you hear, you go, ooh, someone stole my cat. That will be the day that you are thankful that companies like my own and others that I know do all of the right things to help catch the guys that shouldn't be doing those.
And if the police came to you and said, John such and such a one is missing a cat for a BMW car, has anyone given you BMW cats in the last 3 days? Do you go search then and you say, yes, such one brought in the cat, and what happens to the cat? What happens then? Do you give the cat back, or if it's already recycled, what happens, I wonder?
Next subject.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll move on.
You told me I didn't have to answer everything.
You don't have to answer. You do not have to answer anything that may incriminate yourself or any of the crew around here. So next question, if there's any there before we finish. I don't think there's anything in the chat, or if there's any, you two guys have anything for them.
Yeah, sure. How big your facility is? How many halls and space you need to running successful scrapyard?
Yeah, we have about a 17,000 square foot facility between our indoor and our outdoor buildings. We're not a traditional scrapyard with piles and piles of steel. We deal with a lot of dumpsters. Our material's covered and neat and clean. I have enough problems every single day where I don't need any other problems with material sitting outside. So works out nice.
Yeah, true. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your rules. If you're having a scrapyard, and for example, you're dealing with the cars or whatever what contain any oil,
Mhm.
the whole rainwater system supposed to be closed off from the rest.
Yes, it is. Uh, 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 we don't buy cars. That's not what we do at Rockaway Recycling. We don't have an outside crusher. We don't drain anything. All I know is that my friends that do this, they have indoor facilities where the cars go on. I've seen them. They hook up all the different hoses. They either put a drill in or they'll unscrew it, let everything drain out, pull the batteries, cut the cats, and then pull the tires off. This way, it's just metal that they're crushing afterwards. It's worked really well for them. We've had a few friends that have had small problems, but most of the time, as long as you're doing it underneath a roof and you can capture all that water, that's the biggest issue nowadays. But any of the friends that I have that do large scale operations, they have those extremely expensive systems put into place. They normally cost about $1.5 million US to install.
Yep, that's quite big money for the scrapper, right?
Big money. Big
So-
money.
So you're
So
bringing
much
up
for
here.
starting a scrapyard.
Yeah.
What's that?
So much for starting a scrapyard.
Well, the car crushing facility in the legal right way is, everyone thinks that they look at it and they see the dollars and the cents. And don't get me wrong, you can make money in anything. I know a guy that's made millions of dollars off of dirt. It just takes hustle. It takes hard work. It takes patience. And that's been one of the hardest things that it's really been as a business owner to be able to do. I started at 22 years old. I'm 35 today. And it took me a long time to go from working by myself to having over 20 team members on our staff. And it's really, it's a grind, but it's exciting. It is interesting, and I always look forward to these opportunities. But guys, I'm gonna wrap up myself because I have a phone call that I'm gonna hop on in a few minutes. I look forward to everyone downloading the Iscrap app, checking us out, letting us know what we can do better, because that is our job at Iscrap. We want to be able to make more money for the scrappers, and we'd love to hear ideas or other things coming from this or any of the other videos that we do.
Well, Tom, thanks a lot for giving your time. I really appreciate it.
Guys, appreciate it.
Have a
Great.
good day and all the best in the future.
Thank you so much.
Tom, I dare you to say
Thanks.
Chinesium on your next YouTube post.
Hey, I won't say it, but I will say this. I'll scrap you later.
So I thought that was very interesting, Guy. Very interesting talk. What did you think?
Very good. Very good. Now I have to take back another one of the bad things I've said about you.
We wonder, will he ever put a little section in the app for Chinesium prices? Yeah, but he gave up, he's been on for nearly 50 minutes there, so I really appreciate him giving up that amount of time, which was brilliant to have him up. So I don't know who my next person will. I have to work on a few, so hopefully we'll have someone just as interested in a couple of weeks' time. So now that we're on to our normal rubbish talk, what has everyone been up to?
Rubbish talk.
Normal rubbish talk, We used to talk about the rubbish because, most of us are scrappers. So, that's actually fits.
So first off, I'd like to thank everyone that was in the chat. I couldn't acknowledge everyone that was coming in, but thanks for everyone that has been in and everyone that's left a like. I really appreciate it. But sorry if I missed you coming in and you're gone already. But the shark is busy with his mask on. So
My wife and I have been having a debate as to whether or not I've been wearing it
the wrong way around.
down. So should it be like that, or should it be like that?
Oh, really? It basically means you both got a lot too much time.
Smile.
So what have you been up to today, Shark, besides playing with your mask?
Well, and it just came out of the wash, so it smells really nice right now.
You still didn't answer my question. I said, what have you been up to today?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was Yeah, no, I was paying attention to the map. Actually, I've been doing a lot of research today. I have not been out doing any scrapping or out in the garage at all. It's all been a research day.
Okay. And Raphael, what have you been up to? Working back to work, are you?
No, I decided I'm gonna stay at home one more week. So
Jeez, it's great that you can just decide to stay at home.
you know, that's all about my security. No, health. All about my health. That's what I mean. But yeah,
I was going to say it's not to do with you being a millionaire and you can afford to stay at home, is it?
No. I got tiny stash of gold, but it's for sure not enough. Not enough.
You phrased that wrong. Eva has the stash of gold.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm just empty pockets. Anyway, clean up a little bit in the workshop. Get out the shred stuff what I have inside from last few days, and play with few more laptops. And yeah, as usual,
So it'll soon be a trip to the scrapyard again for you to get some more e-waste, will it?
Yeah, I guess so. From last 4 weeks, no, over 3 weeks, I didn't bring nothing. So I only clean up, but as well, I cannot, lift so much. So I just playing with laptops, cell phones, whatever, small and easy,
Yeah. Today was my day off work today, so what I done mainly today was I was playing with the acids out back, so hence my fingers are all acidy burned.
Oh yes, okay.
So it's the last fine day of weather we're going to have for about 3 weeks, I reckon. So I said I might as well go outside and do a bit.
Now, was that due to leaky gloves, or did you forget to put your gloves on when you went to go pick something up?
Exactly, forgot to put the gloves on as usual. Take the gloves off.
You forgot to put the gloves. You were just too lazy to put them on.
No, I had them on, and then because you'll see them in the video, I'd have them on in the video, and then that I'm working on, and then I take them off and I go doing something else and setting the camera up differently or something, and then I grab the jar to move it, and I go, oh, not again. Like it doesn't burn or sting, it just leaves a stain. That's all it does. It doesn't sting, it doesn't burn. And I'm probably used to it now at this stage. The little bit.
I believe I tell you that already. Then you're lucky. Then you don't work with the silver. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't work with silver. If I was silver, it'd be pure black at this stage. So they would.
True, totally black.
Yeah. The acid that I'm working with, it only leaves a little bit of a brown stain, whatever the brown is. Much gold in my fingers.
You think so?
I'll be holding on to the skin and re-putting it into acid.
Not too much longer, you won't have any fingerprints left, and that could be useful.
Yeah, that could be very useful. Barry West has to go. Barry, thanks for being in. I appreciate you dropping in.
Later, Barry. Take care, man.
I appreciate it. I was watching Estonian Scrapper's video earlier, actually. I don't know, has anyone seen it? He went to the scrapyard with some stuff. And
I did see that.
He got €40 and he was a bit disappointed. I thought he'd done all right for the amount of scrap he had. I was thinking he would have got less money than €40.
As far as I see the title, I just wonder what he messed up this time. What happened? And then I see like a half-hour video, half-hour driving, and when the action starts, and still driving, shot at the scrapyard, clip, and driving again.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him. I don't think they would let him film inside the scrapyard, so he had no choice but to edit it out or whatever. But he got €40 at the end. But I thought it was all right for the amount of stuff he's shown in the video. I thought he did right.
It wasn't bad.
No,
but as well,
he was disappointed. But sometimes you always expect more.
Kevin, but at the beginning he expected only 20, right?
Yeah, at the beginning he said 20.
So he got double.
He got double what he expected.
By the way, did you catch he always turned right only?
Yes. No, he done 2 or 3 left turns. He did do 2 or 3 left.
I don't see any left.
On his way home, he turned left.
On the way home, of course, he goes left.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I was thinking, why this guy driving around or something?
Go around in a circle, like.
Yeah.
Go around in a circle. But I enjoyed his video there. So it did, you know, as you said, there was a lot of driving in it, but I don't mind the driving. I like looking at different countries and seeing different things, you know, seeing where you
Yeah, I
live.
don't mind the drive, but I see the title, Big Failure or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I was, wait, where it's gonna come?
Where it's going to come. But
What
yeah,
goes wrong?
what went wrong? I put the link out there again. If anyone wants to go up and chat with us, feel free. The link is out there.
You know, whereas if some of the rest of us put Big Failure on our title, the reaction would be, yeah, okay, nothing new there.
Yeah, well, especially me. Whenever I'm messing with the asset, it never comes out the way I want it to come out. It either boils over, or I'm there for ages trying to drop it. So this time, this video I'm working on, I'm not going to rush it. I'm taking my time. I'm going to do, because what I usually do is to try and get a video finished. I go, okay, I'll put a bit of extra acid in it and speed it up. But then at the end, I deal with all that extra acid I put in. I forget about that. So anymore, I'm putting exact amounts in. So it might take an extra week or 2 weeks to finish the video, but I won't be dealing with a mess of acid at the end of it. That's the plan anyway. But then I might be putting up failure again.
Yeah, why not? Just drop some clip with the driving in between as well.
Yeah, I could just start with the acid, do a drive around the block a couple of times, and But so, what's your video going to be on this week, Raphael?
This weekend I got something different, not for scrappers, but mostly for shroomy hunters.
Oh, we're going shroomy hunting.
And that's gonna be lifetime shroomy hunt. It's gonna be, yeah, let's call it short shroomy hunt, but it's gonna be long video, about 40 minutes.
And are you going to be driving around?
No. I'm gonna be walking around, but I'm not gonna speed up anything. It's just gonna be real walk through the woods and shroom gathering, and that's, yeah. I was planning to do that from long time ago, but there was no shroomies, so what's the point, right?
Yeah, no point looking for them if they're not there.
You know, basically every weekend I went to the woods just to check out if there is something, because basically shroomies grow all year long. So, but yeah, this time I managed to make a video, fairly short for shroomy hunt video, and yeah, quite short enough for YouTube, you know.
Okay.
And I am not gonna add any music, any speed ups, so everything will be like fresh look and sound from the woods.
Okay,
cool.
So
that was the plan.
That's fine. I was going to ask Shark there. You were saying to him about the catalytic converters and that when we were talking. Do you actually did you sell your catalytic converters, or do you still have them?
No, I sold them to him, to our.
Oh, right, to him. Well,
Yeah.
I thought you were only messing with him there when you said
Yeah.
you sold them to him. No. Oh, you sold them to him. Okay. And how did you find dealing with them? Was it straightforward or?
Very straightforward. I sent them pictures of the cats, and I even referenced my YouTube video if they had any questions about where they came from.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And they sent me back a quote. And because the cats were so valuable, those were $240 a piece. They paid for the shipping too. So
that was a good find, wasn't it? That was a good scrap day.
yeah, very good.
So it's amazing, like that someone threw $500 at their outside their house.
Unbelievable, you know, just sitting there on the side of the road. And, you know, it's got to be people that, well, so I think what may have happened was they thought they could sell them and ran into the bureaucratic hassle that is here in Florida with trying to sell cats, and just decided, the hell with it, I'm going to put it out with the trash.
Yeah.
That might have been what went down there.
Yeah, because say to find two cats thrown at the side of the street is unusual enough, and then to find two of that value, which is even better.
Yeah.
You know, because usually you might find them and it might be $50 or something, but to be worth $240 each.
Yeah. So you know, they of course they reserve the right to adjust the payout once they get them and have the actual cats in hand.
Yeah.
But, you know, the labels were very clear, the serial numbers were very clear. So yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, that was good. Because I was just wondering what happened in cats that you're doing in that video, how you got on with them. So that answered the question. You know, and Scrapman is in. Scrapman, how are things?
Hey,
Oh.
Scrap, you're welcome.
We just talk about you and then put all the
reviews. Flatbed
all the
trucker,
things.
welcome in. Let me see who else has come in there. I'm trying to catch up. Who's mate was in. Who's mate, great to see you. Paul Chartall. Barry West is gone. Let me see who else was in here. Ali Mac Mechanical is in. Johnny Five, UK Scrapper. Ian Matthews was in. She Scraps was in. Let me see. Is there anyone else? Will it let me go back? Thunder Valley. Snobby Scrap Picker was in. Trying to catch up with who was in that I missed saying hi to. Hazy Days was in. Paul Shorthorn I've said hello to. Raphael Scrapper was in. There was somebody called Raphael Scrapper in.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. Dodgy. Park Nest was in. Street Copper was in. Shark Scrapper, another dodgy character, was in.
The dodgiest.
Southern Scrap Crusader was in. Trying to who's mate I said hi to already. Ian Matthews. I'm just trying to catch up with a few people now while
Shark Scrapper, the dodgy guy who debate with his wife for the half day which way he's supposed to wear the mask.
yeah. He's not listening to us now at all.
Maybe it's better.
Maybe he's better not listening to us. No, he's not. So what's the weather like over in Florida today?
Hey, look, now this is good. This is important. Come on now. You know, this is important. Wear it like that or wear it like that. If you're going to wear a freaking shark mask, wear it right, you know?
And which way were you wearing it?
I don't pay attention. I hadn't been paying attention when I put it on. But my wife noticed it in the video, so she started getting on me about it.
And now, you know, in this case, now wearing the mask take you double so much time than usual.
So I think that's right side up.
Paul Chartall reckons I let anyone in here.
Yeah, this is normal look of the shark, I guess.
I see you have your prison suit back on again, Shark.
Pardon me?
I see you have your prison uniform back on. Were you misbehaving again?
Yeah, well, there was some cleaning up that was required on some of the highways, so they called us out.
As long as you can find cats on the highway, you don't mind doing it.
We're sweeping up all the dust to try to get the platinum together that was burned off from all the cars, you know, going down.
It's sitting in the side of the road, all that platinum. Isn't there someone who does that? I've seen some YouTube channel where they went out and and recovered platinum from it.
Yeah, they did.
Isn't that Cody's lab?
I think
it was.
Cody's lab,
Yeah.
or was it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They actually got the platinum out of the street and some gold and stuff like that from the scrapings off the sidewalks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he also tried to get some platinum out of some catalytic converters, and then dropped the glass jar that the liquid was in. So he blamed it on his cat.
Are you bringing up bad experiences for me? We're bringing up bad experiences there, Shark. I've forgotten about them things. You don't need to bring them up. He's not the only one to have dropped stuff.
I bet we all do. We all do. Everyone who played with the gold and so on, then yeah.
Or blew their stuff away.
That must happen sooner or later.
Yeah, did you drop something or blow it away?
Let's see, Scrapman was saying that was Street Tips, not Cody's.
Yes, Street Tips got the catalytic converter, but Cody's grabbed some dust from the highway or somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that trying to get the platinum out of the catalytic converters or the platinum out of anything it's a long process. Plus, it's also a dangerous one. Like if that was platinum that I was dealing with now, and that got on my hands, like it did there, in 10 years' time or maybe 20 years' time, my liver and everything will be affected by it. It gets into you, but it mightn't affect you straight away. It can last for 20 years or 30 years before you see the effects of it. So That's why I'm nervous about it, because I have a habit of not putting the gloves on and grabbing a jar. So if it was platinum I'm dealing with, then I
You,
don't.
you
I
need
might
you need
stay
to
away from
you need
that.
to you need to work on your habit. You need to
Yeah,
wear gloves every time when you grab whatever glass.
yeah,
So
yeah.
even for your whiskey,
Before I go near the platinum, I'm definitely going to have to get into the habit of making sure I have gloves on every time.
I don't think I would be able to get all ingredients or acids and so on for platinum and so on.
What
I'm
you say?
still
I wouldn't be able to get all the acids.
I don't think so.
Oh, I think I may already have them all.
Okay, good for you. So share some.
So that would be more dangerous than 10 years of drinking whiskey?
Well, yes, I'd say so, because when you start thinking the 10 years of whiskey, you'll see the effect fairly quick. But the platinum, you might think, oh, I haven't been messing with platinum in years. And next minute, you're not feeling well, you go to a doctor and they go, you've got platinum poisoning. At least if you go to the doctor and they go, you got whiskey poisoning, you go, well, yeah, I did drink 2 bottles last night. Scrapman goes, in 20 or 30 years, I'll be in the grave, so I won't care. Jeez, I think you're not that old yet, Scrapman. I think you've got a bit more than 30 years left, hopefully.
I have so much metal in me now from things that the Navy did to put me back together that I've told my wife that when I'm gone and they cremate me, to make sure that she gets all the metal back.
Oh yeah, but after the scrapyard with you, it's not a cremation. You're just going straight to the scrapyard.
Scrap me.
They'll use the XRV on you, and they'll go, oh yeah, he's 10% copper. We'll give you we'll give you a value of.
Okay, you get the interest price.
Yeah.
I wonder, will Tom have an app there that you'll be able to sell your hip on? Will you be able to press the button and get a price on your hip and price on your knee? And
I'm gonna tell her to take my urn to the Iscrap app folks and let them use the analyzer on the ash.
Yeah, to see if there's anything of value. Hazy Days is back in. Welcome, Hazy Days.
Hazy Days.
So it's,
Welcome, Hazy. Good to see you, buddy.
Poosmate asked, what was again? I asked my sister, was the plate on her leg titanium? Yeah.
Anyway, before cremation, they took out most of the metal parts of you. Before.
I think they do, don't they? I think they take anything like that out before they cremate you.
Yeah.
So, you know what, Scrapping Irish, that would be a really cool interview for you to do. Either, an undertaker, to find out what they do with all the artificial hip, bone parts and things like that after they cremate someone. That could be really interesting.
Oh,
that's
very
morbid. That's self-profit for the crematory.
Yeah, that's more profit for them. I think it'll be like Tom. That might be a question that won't be answered. I said to Tom Morant, I said, don't worry, if there's anything you don't want to answer, don't answer. He said, okay. And then I was the one that asked the question.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I wonder why you didn't want to answer that.
Well, probably, I don't know, maybe legal reasons. You don't know. You don't know what's going on. There may be an issue, But it's kind of one of them things that scrapyards have to watch out for, isn't it? Like
there's plenty of stuff that you need to watch as you do whatever. Even you doing YouTube, simple YouTube. You need to watch what you're saying and so on, because this is all public, right?
Oh yeah, everything you say. Like if I come on here now and I said something about shark, I thought this and that about shark. You have to be careful to say it's out there forever. And you could slander someone very, very easily by saying the wrong thing.
True. And even though you just will be just simple word, the sharky can sue you for that, for personal, how you call it?
Slander.
Disgrace or whatever, something like that. Yeah, for example.
Yeah, no, and I notice on YouTube a lot of people do put themselves in a situation. You're listening to what they're saying, especially some of the, we say, channels which will be they're called the Boyd, I think it's called, bottom of YouTube. is I think what it stands for, the Boyd. But there's certain groups, and they're to be given out about each other, and they're to be saying stuff in public that you'd be thinking, if I was a solicitor there now, I'd be saying to my client, there's a claim, you know?
Yeah, of course. You know, as far we meet and we not meet for the first time, so we are able to say something to each other. Like for someone else, someone new will sound very offensive or something like that. But we just take it as a joke. But that's how it's worked actually.
Yeah. No, like this. But again, I don't think we do take the mickey out of each other, as we just say here in Ireland. But I don't think we'd ever get so personal that you'd offend someone. I don't think there's that. The people that come into the chat and the people that come on the panel, I don't think they're them type of people. But there is certain people out there that I'd be watching and I'd be thinking, how can you say something like that about someone and think it's okay? You know?
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, moving on. We'll move on from that before we get bogged down. So, well, before we get bogged down in depression, who's in? Justin. What did Justin say? Dropped off £1,560 at the yard. Was that worth your time, Justin? Were you happy with your prices?
That's a good number.
Have you been lately, Shark?
£1,560 of what?
Yeah. We'll have to go back up the chat and see what he's been dropping off.
Anyway, it seems like over half tons, so it's still good enough, whatever it will be.
Whatever it was, yeah, it's probably good enough. But
well, it's all right. Like, if you were dropping off that amount of copper, it's well worth it. If it's just iron, it's all right, but it's not compared to copper. I'd rather be dropping off that weight in copper, so I would. So, how was your trips to the scrapyards, Shark? Have you noticed much in the prices?
Let's see. Steel was still up. Copper, aluminum were still good. Yeah, things were still holding pretty good.
I think it's coming question from Puzme.
Okay. I have a question, please. Well,
okay.
We are holding fast for your question. Everyone is just waiting in anticipation. Who gives the best price in local yards or big name national yards? I don't know, because I don't deal that much with scrap yards. Shark, do you find a local yard or one of the brand yards give the best prices?
So I can only speak to my experience here. I have a small privately owned yard that gives me much better prices on non-ferrous material than the bigger yard. The bigger yard has backers from a very large country that makes material that we jokingly refer to.
Okay.
So I'm being careful not to say their name because I don't want anything to come back on you in your live stream here.
Yeah.
So that larger yard with that backing, they're not as good in general pricing, and especially not as good in the non-ferrous pricing as the smaller private yard is.
Okay. And we'd say, you just talking about the app, actually, you said you use his app, and how do you find his app for price and stuff for you? Does it help you before you go to the scrapyard to know kind of general what sort of prices are out there, or do you find the prices are much different from the app and what you actually get in the yard?
So I use it mostly for watching for the trends and things like that on what's going on. I don't look up the prices for my yards because I can just call them. I've been dealing with them enough now that I can call them and they'll give me the prices and we're good to go before I get there. So, and usually I'm putting the prices in the app for the area to help the Iscrap app, with their database. So okay. I use it mostly for just sort of trend tracking and monitoring.
Oh, so you update you do put the prices in on the app yourself, what you're getting, so it kind of gives an indication in your area what prices are at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. And
we got Street Cooper back in the chat. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey Street Cooper. You're going to love my video tomorrow, buddy.
Do you find it easy to use the app for updating the prices and stuff like that? It's just straightforward, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Do you want to elaborate on that answer?
Would you like me to show you? So first, you open the app.
We could do a section where Shark Scrappers shows you how to use. Could be the question. Every week you could show us how to use a grinder, or you could use how to use an app, or how to use whatever. I was going to get Ian Matthews to do a section on how to use tools, but all you use is the hammer, so there's no point.
Look at the Scrapman's comment.
What did you say? I want an app that you type in what you want for your scrap, and the app finds. Yeah, it'd be a good idea. You, like an auction site, you go, I have 50 pounds of copper and I want such and such a value for it. Who's going to buy it off me?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I was going to say there to you. There was something else that popped into my head. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who I can bring up next on my for questioning. You know, it's. I was going to try what's that crowd called? Metal Mountain something, whatever he is, MCLLs or something is the name of the YouTube channel. Mountain Metal. They do. I'm trying to find him here now. I was going to email him and see would he be interested in coming up. I watch his channel, so I think Poosmate had a list of people as well. Poosmate, what's your list again, if you're still out there, of people that you suggested I should get onto, and I'll try and track one of them down this week for next week. We'll see what Poosmate comes up with.
I think Poosmate didn't like the answer that we gave her about which yards pay the best price, though.
Why?
No, I think she didn't like those Scrapman's answer, because he said the bigger chain of scrapyards pay less because they got bigger company and bigger expenses.
I think the bigger scrapyards might pay less because they can afford to let you walk out the door. They don't care. They're so busy that you're just a number. Where the smaller, more personal scrapyard, you build up a reputation with them, and they want to hold on to you as a customer. Once you're in the door, they kind of want to hold on to you. They don't want to lose you to someone else. They'll always give you that little bit extra, maybe.
Yeah, that's why I'm positive.
That's the one I was thinking of.
In here, because all of my scrapyard are small. There is no like
MBLC, MMLC. That's the person I was trying to think of.
Oh yeah, it would be cool to have street tips in here.
Yeah, I was talking to Street Trips about it, but he's very busy. You know, I was talking to him about it. He's putting a lot of videos out. It's taking a lot of time for himself. You know, it's hard to, someone that has a YouTube channel like that who's putting videos out every couple of days. It's very hard to get them on board, because if they're on here, it means they can't be doing their own channel.
Yeah, true.
That's the other downside. You know? E-waste. I'd like to get e-waste bin up, so I would, but the time difference is the issue. You know, because again, if I could do a recording with them, but it's not the same as having them live when there's people in the chat talking. You know.
With recording that will be okay. Though you will get like list of question, and that's it.
Yeah, I see. I like the interaction with the chat, where people can pop in and ask a question, or can come up on the panel and ask a question of the guest as well. I like that interaction part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Shark, or is he just frozen? Shark?
No, just typing some.
Oh, I thought you died live on screen. I was going to go, this is going to be brilliant. I'm going to get a load of hits out of this.
No, I apologize. I was just looking at the Iscrap app to see something, and then my phone went wonky on me. So sorry about that. I'll put it down and pay attention.
I was going to say, this is good. I'm going to get a load of hits out of this.
What was the question again?
What's the question again? No, we were just on about. I was saying about e-waste bin. I'd like to get e-waste bin up sometime for a chat, but the problem is the time difference. You know that I could always do a recording, but I like the interaction of the chat when people can ask him a question or bring a guest up or bring someone up on the panel to ask him a question like we did today. I like that interaction, you know. But
Yo, guys, Ali not leaving us. So let's say see ya to Ali and Tina. Have a great time, guys.
Take it easy.
Everyone, take care.
Appreciate you being in. I haven't checked out your video yet, Ali. I seen you put a video up today. I'll be checking it out later. And UK Scrapper put a video up today as well. I haven't got a chance to check out, but I'll try and check it out before I go to bed tonight.
And John Lott leaving us too. So take care.
And Michael Clinton is just after coming in. Michael Clinton. Oh, Ian Matthews is still there, and it's 9:20. Surely to God, I thought he'd be asleep by now. Oh no, hold on. It's not one of his own videos he's watching. Oh yeah.
So, you know, though, I think with e-waste Ben, you might be able to work something out with him because he has made some comments in his videos that he keeps unusual hours. You know, he lives by himself, and so you know he's sometimes he'll scrap till late hours in the morning, late hours, and then go to sleep and wake up in the middle of the day and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and Shark, what part of Australia is he in?
You know, as far as he get time to catch my streams, so he must be late up.
East or west?
He is east, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so what's the time difference there? Let me have a look.
Have you tried US Mike, maybe?
Well, yeah, I'll try US Mike at some stage as well.
He's also a cool guy.
Oh, he's class. I like watching his Australian time. East Australian time. So what time is it over there now? They're 10 hours ahead of me.
Well, you know what's going to be funny about having e-waste Mike up here is, you'll ask him a question and he'll say something like, I don't got time to deal with
that. or his cash will come up and take over the show. Kuznets said he's in Melbourne, so Melbourne time. What time is it over there now? Melbourne is... It's like 6. It's just after 6 over there in the morning. So I'm on an hour and a half. So that would mean 5 a.m. in the morning. I'd have to have him on it. I don't think that's fair to get him up at 5 a.m. to do a show.
Nah. I will not go with that myself.
Wait a minute. You mean you guys aren't waking up at 5 o'clock in the hell? I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, do my calisthenics, run my 2 miles, and then start work. What's going on here?
I get up at 6:30 in the morning usually, have my breakfast, have a shower, and go to work. So I'm up early, but 5 o'clock is a bit even early for me.
Last few weeks I woke up about 3 to 4 afternoon.
Oh yeah, just rub it in, why don't you? Rub it in. That you have a great time of it. You can pick your own days to go into work, and you can decide to have 3 weeks off whenever you feel like it.
So I have run into a small problem with with some of my street scrapping routes because it looks like the G-Man is getting started a little bit earlier.
Oh.
So, the challenge for me is I'm not going to go out until there's enough light for me to see something. And those guys don't really have to see anything. They know they're going to stop at every house, and they've got lights all over the truck, and people expect them to make a lot of noise first thing in the morning. And, I'm trying to be a little bit courteous when I'm out there in the morning.
Yeah.
That's visible on the videos.
And what about going out later in the evening? Do people put their stuff out the night before, or do they just put them out after a certain time?
Well, people will be putting stuff out anytime from the afternoon through the evening. And so the issue for me is, am I going to run the route twice, the night before and then that morning? Well, I don't think it's going to make that big a difference. So I'm just going to run it the one time. And, you know, sometimes the G-Man will beat me to certain places, and sometimes I'm ahead of them.
Yeah. And did you ever think about doing like a leaflet drop in your area, that we say that route you do, just put a leaflet in people's letterboxes and just put get another phone where people can text with their address and say they have such a thing to be picked up or anything like that?
So I do that electronically through an app called Nextdoor. And I just, Nextdoor.
Okay.
And what I'll do is, you know, periodically I'll drop a note in there, you know, free pickup for appliances and electronic waste or something like that. And, you know, sometimes things pop up. Justin, that's funny. 4 hour stream.
it'd be a Scrapping Irish marathon, we'd have to call it. He always puts marathon down on his one, so it'd be a Scrapping Irish marathon.
Yeah.
What it says, I put scrap at the bottom of my driveway and advertise it for free. It's usually given next morning. Yeah, so that's what I was on about there. Like if you could, but like surely people are used to you now, Shark, driving by the same route. Do you do the same route every week, or do you change your route constantly?
No, I use so I'm on the same route each, you know, on certain days of the week, because that's when the G-Man is out. So
yeah. But surely people know you now, and could you not say to them, well, can you leave the steel and stuff aside for me, hide it away from the scrap man? I'll be around the same day, but I'll be a bit later.
So I actually have some people that are notifying me, you know, or they'll put a note, you know, come knock on the door, don't want the G-Man to take something, that kind of thing. So yeah, there are some folks that I've talked to, that I've met while I've been out there, and they're either setting stuff aside or letting me know that they have some stuff. Yeah,
because I know if I was leaving something out, if I knew there was a scrap man taking it, I'd rather give it to the scrap man than give it to the garbage man, because it's going to end up in a landfill. It's going to end up nowhere of value. Like, at least giving it to someone who's going to get it recycled or something, at least they're getting something out of it, and I feel good that it's not going straight to a landfill.
Yeah. In fact,
that's why it's always full loaded car, because, you know, he picked the day when he got few messages. Okay, I go there. Okay, that's gonna fill my car. I'm gonna make a video today.
Man, I tell you what, I wish that was the case, Raphael. That'd make it really easy.
And then he stopped by at the can and, oh, look what I found. Who's gonna go home with me tonight?
Oh man, what would that be, like seeding the video or something like that?
But you know, it's good what you do, like that you're making a few pound out of it, and you're also helping get it out of the landfill before it gets there. Because I was just thinking today, imagine the amount of gold and silver and platinum that's buried in landfills all over the world that has been, when people used to not recycle, like they used to separate their computers and whatever, everything went in the one bin back in the 80s. There was no such thing as recycling plants or whatever. It was all just brought to landfill and dumped. So imagine the tons of gold that's buried that never be used again.
You know, so years ago when I was a young officer aboard a ship, we had, when we were disposing of classified material, they're called burn bags, and they're specially marked bags that the classified material goes into, and it's supposed to go to a burn facility. Well, we had a young sailor that didn't pay attention, and he put it in the trash bin. And you know, they hauled away the trash, and then we discovered, because of our checking system, that we were missing these 2 burn bags. Well, because that sailor was one of my sailors, I had to then go with a detail to the landfill and try to find these burn bags.
Oh.
So we've spent 7 hours in the landfill digging through. Now, fortunately, they kind of know where things are dumped from different pickups and times of day and stuff like that. But it took us 7 hours to find those 2 burn bags. And I was thinking while I was out there digging through all of that trash, like, holy crap, if you melted all this stuff down, we could build an entire fleet out of all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, actually, when I was living with my parents, about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 kilometers distance was like landfill. They prepare it, the spot for it, and they fill it up and so on. And there was one family around. There was like 3 or 4 person, and they actually live off that landfill. Every day they went there with the tools like for digging potatoes, and just dig through whatever metal they found, whatever stuff they found. They just sell to the scrapyard and so on. And those guys make really, really good profit. Of course, they stink a bit, but
Yeah, I was going to say the smell would be another issue.
true, but they get really good money out of that. And there was actually some newspaper material about them, as far as they found out some jewelry stuff, and it was worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like there's computers that have been thrown away in the 80s, which had the most amount of gold compared to computers nowadays, and there's tons and tons of them buried in landfill sites all over the world. The value of that must be in the billions worth of gold and silver in there.
Yeah, true, but get into them right now if they are buried and covered with the ground and everything. Because there was, every time when they finish up filling up, they just cover with the ground, and that's it.
It's underground, and that's it. It's there forever.
And it's all well compressed and so on.
Yeah, and it's mixed in with every sort of vegetable stuff and rats and everything decaying around it. So if you went digging it up, you'll get probably what's that, methane gas. Will come up and probably knock you out, so it's not worth the hassle.
There was actually once, even at this landfill, after it's closed and covered with the ground and so on, somehow some fires start under.
Yeah, the methane gas, like, because I know there's a company that was it out in some country, I don't know what country it was in. They've actually built a methane gas facility on the scrapyard, on the actual landfill, and they're using the gas coming up as a source of heat.
There's some places here in the U.S. that do that, and they've started planning some of the landfills specifically to do that.
Yeah, because all they do is they put the pipe down, drill down to the bottom of the landfill, and the methane gas is piped out of it.
They actually starting some new things in here in Denmark. Actually, they put out like pig farms. It's like 2-level buildings, and at the first level, every debris and everything from the pigs of raising them and growing them and so on, all the fecals and everything going down to the first level, and the pigs live on the second level. And they use all those first level as a gas production thingy. And that was not really big building, quite small one, but produce a huge amount of gas. Yeah. And they're actually on testing them because they want to, we got plenty of small farms in here.
Yeah, well, if they weren't using that gas, it was just going to escape into the atmosphere, and by them getting the use out of it, it's far better than letting it just go to no use at all.
True. Biogas, exactly, Puzzmate. Biogas.
Yeah.
They planning to set up like this is special designed farm buildings, so the pigs are always inside on the first level of the building, and the second level,
Yeah.
And first level is designed for catching all the gases and fermenting it and do whatever it's need to be to send.
But as Scrapman 50 said there, some landfill sites just have a pipe there and they're just lighting and burning the gas off constantly. But wouldn't it be better if they piped the gas somewhere and made use of it rather than just burning it off?
Yeah,
true.
That's the thing I don't understand. Why burn it off if you can use it?
And then there was another. There was another pig farm I saw where they were experimenting with shoving balloons up the pig's rear end, and then they just periodically harvest the balloons that are full of gas.
I hope that's a made-up story.
Yo, guys, we got Nick in the chat, so let's say welcome to Nick. that's actually true, Sharky. In Argentina, I guess, somewhere.
I think you've been watching too many weird programs.
They got like cows walking at the fields. They put some pipes on them through their body and so on. So they got tanks for the CO2 to catch it. And that's true.
You're crap at lying. You're crap at lying.
Yes.
Nick Jones,
my mother used to tell me she could always see when I was lying.
Good evening.
How are you doing, Nick?
I'm all right.
Come on.
I got your little envelope this morning, Raphael. Cheers, mate.
Great.
So, I hope Ian Matthews listening, you tight ass. I'm getting them from America and I get them from Denmark, but you can't be sending me a sticker. We should do a I reckon we should do a GoFundMe for tight ass Ian Matthews.
You can donate stamps to him.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to send him stamps. He'll use those. His wife will use those to send out the Christmas cards.
Yeah.
True.
No, we'll just do a GoFundMe, £500, and that'll pay for my man and Ian's booze up. And then I can get the stickers off him then.
You can drive up and get the stickers yourself.
I don't drive, I'll get the train.
Oh. I told you I had to go all the way to Liverpool to get a sticker off him. All the way from Ireland.
No, Irish. I'm dangerous on a push bike. Can you just imagine if I drive?
Yeah, you're safer on the train.
No, I got breathalyzed by the police the other day because I crashed into the lamppost.
On your push bike?
Yeah.
How you did that? How many beers was before involved?
0.
And how did you manage to crash?
Don't tell me you just crash on lamppost when you were fresh.
Good night, Jason.
No, I didn't have a single drink of booze.
And how did you crash into the post?
6 women jogging past with the boobs bouncing up and down and showing the rear end.
You see, that's why guys have to pay so much more in life insurance and car insurance.
Yeah. Jason, good night. Thanks for being in.
Take care, Jason.
Oh, come on, Nick. I love it. Oh, but what have you been up to today, Nick, besides crashing into posts during the week?
Nothing much, really. Just going around looking for work, pricing jobs up and that.
It'll be coming into the quieter time of year for you now with the winter, will it?
It will and it won't. But I'll start going into cutting tree reduction, cutting trees down and that at this time of year.
Okay.
And that's what I'm gonna say. It's gonna start the pruning the trees and cutting down and so on.
Yeah, and if like here, if a tree is blown down here, there's a list of, we say the council have a list of people to go out and cut them down. Is it the same over there in Wales, or how does it work?
If someone wants it cutting down, they pay me. I go there with a chainsaw and I cut it down.
But what if a tree falls down? Like we say here, if a tree falls down on the road, the council have a list of people they hired in to do it. Do they the same there, or do they look after it themselves?
Don't know. If I'm there and I got a chainsaw, I'll cut it up and I'll sell the logs.
Okay.
But if a tree falls on the street and nobody's there, can anyone hear it?
Don't start that conversation.
I don't care.
As far as cutting down the trees, I need to just, secure the spot at my own, somehow.
Hey,
Whatever.
Trees I need to take down, man. Can you come help me out?
Yeah, you pay for me flight. I'll come over, no problem.
The weather's nice and warm over there too.
But we at least I can show these Navy boys how to drink.
Oh.
Man, I gave that up a long time ago, buddy.
It's all right. You buy the beer and I'll drink it.
Well, there you go. That works.
Ian Matthews is doing well. He's still off the beer, so he is as well.
Ian Matthews off the beer. Bullshit.
I'll have to comment on his video there where he was in the shop and all the Christmas decorations are out, and I said to him, seeing the Christmas decorations are out, surely allowed a Christmas beer now.
Yeah, but it's great if they put it already. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's awful eerie to have Christmas stuff out. Is there Christmas stuff out already in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Is it? Wow.
I don't do Christmas. It's cancelled, and I bet Bam and I bet Rudolph.
I think Christmas is going to be cancelled for everyone this year by the looks of it anyhow. The way they're talking with lockdowns again and carrying on again, I'd say it's going to be cancelled for everyone.
Yeah, we've been. I wonder what's going to happen with trick or treating around here. I haven't heard anything official on what.
Well, over here it won't be going ahead anyhow. There definitely won't be, because they're saying that there's only so many people allowed to certain houses, so they're not going to allow strangers to be walking around from house to house to house to house. You know,
I bet every kid will have a built-in mask into the mommy costume.
Yeah, they don't have masks on anyway, right?
You're not going to open a door to a strange kid because he might have been at the house where someone else was coughing and spluttering on top of them, and he's going to spread it to 10 or 12 houses. So I'm not going to open the door to anyone. I might leave sweets outside, and if they take them, they take them. If they don't, they don't. The first one comes gets all the sweets.
Yeah, I would think that most of the parents would be nervous about their kids bringing candies back into their house that have been in somebody else's house that they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what's been.
Again, all it takes is someone to have coughed on them sweets or something like that, and next minute it's in that bag of sweets with the kid, and he's going to the next house, and he's going to the next house, and next house, and next house, and then he's home and he's spreading it around the house. So I don't think it's going to take place. I think that's gone. So
no, for all you know, someone could have coughed on the sweets or had a wet fart.
What was that again?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
You know, that's why these days all the candies are packed.
Yeah. It says if the tree is on private property and falls into public highway. Yeah, if it falls into a public highway onto a road here and blocks a road, the council have local guys that'll come and take it away. So they'll get a fee off the council for cutting it up, and then they get to keep the timber as well. So it's a win-win for them.
I was when I was living in Memphis, Tennessee for a while. We had a hurricane that came up from the Gulf Coast up through the center of the country, and it was still powerful enough that when it got up to Memphis, it was taking down trees right and left all over the place. And somehow or another, the wind managed to cause 5 trees to fall into my yard from other people's property. And so I got stuck, having to cut up these 5 trees, and all but one of the other homeowners was pretty good about either helping me out or helping to replace the fence. But this one guy, he was just a total jerk about it, and of course, then I ended up with probably 5 years worth of wood for my fireplace once, it had to dry out for a year. But, I ended up with more firewood than I was going to need for quite some time there.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Free firewood.
Yeah.
Michael Clinton is asking me there, am I going to the pub after tonight? Because if anyone doesn't know, the pubs have been closed in Ireland since March, and today is their official reopening of the bars in Ireland. So the bars have reopened, but I won't be going because I have work in the morning. So I don't fancy going to the bar and having to get up at 6:30 in the morning. It's just not a competition.
I bet that's going to be plenty happy hours tonight.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people are nervous about it because the numbers in Ireland are going up as it is. So
everywhere is going up. That's why they're going to lock down us again.
Yeah, so that's why I think people are nervous about going into bars and stuff like that again, because you're coming into the winter time, which naturally is increased flus and colds anyhow. So,
No, actually, the numbers going up not because more people getting sick. Numbers going up because they got a plan and they're gonna lock down us again. That's why.
You're not one of these conspiracy theorists. Do you think a government would lock down a country and have to pay money out for free to people if they didn't have to? No way.
You will see. You will see in few months, buddy.
No,
You will see in few months.
No, there's no way a government. There's no way a government would give you 350.
Do that. There's no gain for anyone to do that.
Yeah, it is. It is very big game, and it's already taking shapes.
No, I said gain. Who gains in doing it? That's the part that I don't. With those kind of conspiracy theories, that's the part that I don't understand.
You don't know who gain? It's clearly visible who gain.
Who gains?
China.
Oh, will you stop? So you reckon the Irish government, the American government, the English government, the French government, the Italian government,
they are all in debt, buddy. They are all in debt for China.
Hey, scrapping. Yeah. It's not the English. It's not the English government. It's the British government.
Well, yes, the British government.
Yeah, get it straight, man.
Thank you.
The British government. So you reckon they're all in cahoots with China?
No, they got.
No, will you stop?
Oh
yeah,
my!
They all walk around. They're in a secret cult. They all walk around, and go sucky right dollar.
Most of the countries are in debt for the China, and they got to do it. Otherwise, they will just bankrupt.
Stop! I thought you were an intelligent man.
You will see soon. You will
I
see.
thought you were an intelligent man. There's no way a government. We take, for instance, Ireland, right? Everyone in Ireland, if you're off for the whatever length of time, are getting €350 a week. So where is it in the government's interest to give every person 350 quid a week to have them sitting at home, not paying any tax, not contributing to society, not spending any money in the local?
I'm not saying your government it's willing to do that. Of course not. But they have to. It's something from over. They just push to do that.
No, will you stop?
You don't need to believe me, but
of fucking bullshit.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah, good for you. I will not believe in that, but it's clearly visible, and it's not only your government or U.S. government or whatever other country. It's all over the world already. So
this is why I fucking don't talk politics when I do a stream.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to stop it a little bit before.
Yeah, well, we'll move on to the.
Let's debate how you say aluminum.
Aluminium. Aluminium. That's what I'd say. Aluminium.
Yeah, but don't forget the Americans. They can't speak English properly anyway.
We don't. We speak American.
Exactly. Where did you get it from? Us, the British.
No, you guys just gave us sort of the base level, and then we've managed to morph it over the years as we injected all these other languages that came here.
Yeah.
There's another word you use in America, and what is it? Oh, Nissan. How do you pronounce Nissan cars over there?
Nissan?
Nissan. That's it. Nissan.
Ooh,
Nissan.
I want to get a Nissan car.
I heard this comedian one time, and he was going on about the word HERB. So how do you say that, Scrapping Irish?
Say that again.
HERB.
Herb.
Right. Ooh. So we say herb.
You say herb, yeah. You don't pronounce the H in it.
You say burb.
Yeah, you just say herb.
And this comedian was going on about it, and he said, well, it's pronounced herb because there's a fucking H in it. Now, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did you leave out the H, like, when you're doing it? And then you have tomatoes and tomatoes, as Scrapman 50 put up there.
That was verb.
You know, we say tomatoes over here. You say tomatoes.
I say pomidor.
You say what?
Pomidor.
No,
Tomato.
no, Raval just says slug food.
But how do you say that?
All right, try and pronounce where I'm from then. Originally,
I don't know where you're from originally, so that's the problem.
Clanvervecken.
Clambervrecken.
Planet Arrakis.
That's the one.
Clanvervecken. Yeah,
Clanvervecken.
something like that.
I thought Planet
In Wales, you have very long names for places, don't you? I think you have the longest name in the world for a town or something.
Yeah, and don't ask me, can I say? Can I fuck?
I was about to ask you, can you pronounce it, please?
Most of us just call it Clanfair PG. That's the short version.
But don't you also have some cities that only have one letter in their name?
I don't know.
I got one with two letters only.
What's that?
S.
Oh, okay.
It's A with the tiny dots on top and S.
And whereabout is that?
Somewhere.
Is that in Poland or in Denmark?
No, this is in Denmark.
Okay.
But we got crazy word in Polish as well.
What's that?
Let's try Konstantynopolitańczyk Kuwianeczka.
God bless you. That's one word.
Yeah, this is one word. Konstantynopolitańczyk Kuwianeczka.
What does that mean? Go bite yourself and your sister too, or something like that?
No, that means little girl from Constantinople. little girl what live in Constantinople.
Okay.
All that sound that you're on about's about nearly about an hour away from where I live.
Which the town with the longest name?
Yeah, it's just outside Bangor.
Okay. Like do they put the full name down on the signposts, or do they shorten?
Oh yeah.
It must be about a meter. It must be 2 or 3 meters long.
It's about 2 meters long.
Well, they don't have to worry about anybody stealing it because it's too long for most people to get it in their cars.
Yeah. Well, it might be worth
they would if they wanted it in Wales, they'd take it.
I'm just looking it up here. Longest town name in Wales. I'm trying to find it if I can. It's 58 letters long.
Oh.
And let me bring it up here if I can. How is it pronounced? Lord, I wouldn't even make an attempt to pronounce it. I'm about to
just copy and paste.
That's what I'm about to do. Copy. And I'm going to put it in the chat. This is the longest town name in the world, I think. And it's in Wales. And
the best country in the world.
It's about.
And Nick's going to tell us how to say that.
If you can pronounce that, lads, you're doing well.
There you go.
And that is true. If you copy and paste that and put it into Google, it'll bring you to where it is in Wales.
Really?
Yes.
Holy jumping Jiminy Christmas.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, that's the name of the place.
I know.
Would they try to name it after everyone that lives there or something?
Yeah. The only good thing about it is the road going out of it. It's a shithole.
I hope I never gonna get anyone from them to send any sticker or whatever.
Imagine writing that address down, having to write that down the envelope.
I will just print it out, I guess.
You'd have it going across the envelope and around the backside.
Oh. Now there is a short, as Nick said, there's a short version that most people will use. It says there if you look it up, but
Clanfair PG.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But it's
Crazy.
I don't know how the sign and Nick said that they actually have the full name and the signpost, like, so it's. Oh.
If you put that for the train station, Irish.
Say that again.
Put that for the train station. Put that name and then train station. It'll bring it up. It either Trains Wales at the bottom, and then it'll have the big name on it.
Yeah. So it's actually printed in the train station and everything. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. How the bug writing the signs must be making plenty of money. If they go into them, they go, we want a new sign for the town. Oh yeah, I'll do the long version straight away. It wouldn't be I'll do the short version for you. I'll do the long version.
So that would be a highway size sign.
Yeah.
But they have to increase the taxes in order to get enough money together to pay for the sign.
Yeah.
Increase the taxes. They're screwing up out of us. They can piss off.
Yeah. Pretending like Ireland, they know how to get money out of you. So they do. Right, guys, I'm about to finish up in 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to, I think Dumpster Jerry is live. So I'm going to put Dumpster Jerry's link in, and we can all pop over there and say hi to Dumpster Jerry. In the meantime, before I finish up, I usually do my usual. Shark, when is your next video out?
Got one tomorrow and then another one on Friday.
Okay, and tomorrow's Street Scrap, is it?
Nope. Tomorrow is an e-waste video, and Friday will be a Street Scrap.
Okay. Nick, do you have any video coming out?
Well, I've got loads of content, but I just can't be out putting it on my channel.
Okay, well, at some stage you may do that, and we can check it out.
No, I won't. I'm only on YouTube. No, seriously, I'm only on YouTube to support other channels. I can't be asked putting content up. That's it.
Hey, we all appreciate you coming on, and we all appreciate you giving time to all our channels. I do anyhow, for definite. I appreciate it.
Well, I've only come on here because I've got nothing else to do.
Oh, thanks. Try and make me feel better, why don't you?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, we already know you have a video coming out tomorrow, but tell people again.
Yeah, I already tell, but yeah, that's gonna be lifetime. No, not lifetime. Real time. Shroomy Hound. That's gonna be a long one, and that's probably not for all the scrappers and so on, but yeah, for the peeps who like the woods and so on, that's gonna be okay, I guess. We will see about the views and so on. And actually, yeah, I got a question for you guys. What do you think? Should I just put the video out, or should I just make Premiere and stay for the whole 40 minutes and chat with them?
I'd put the video out if it's going to be 40 minutes, because a Premiere is a long time for you to be sitting there as well answering comments, unless you're live. It's grand when you're live doing something, but in a Premiere, if it's a long video and you have to sit through it, you've already watched it and done it, and then you have to sit through it all again to answer questions for people, where you can just answer them in the comments later.
Just stick it up.
Stick it up.
Okay.
Shark?
I agree with Scrapping Irish.
Okay, sweet. Thanks for opinion.
You, at the end of the day, it's your channel. You do what you want for your own channel. Everyone's channel is their own choice what to do, and everyone does things differently, and whatever's best for you and whatever you like doing, you do it yourself.
Yeah, I just want an opinion. That's all.
Yeah, well, if it's a Premiere, I won't be there because tomorrow evening I have an appointment at 7:30.
You know, the positive stuff after Premiere, when the premieres end up, it still land on the channel as a normal video.
Yeah, well, that's the upside. It's like having a live and then having a video straight away as well. So there's a gain there with the Premiere. That I can understand the gain to it, but I won't be able to make the Premiere. That's why I was saying put up the video, because I won't be able to make the Premiere.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the time to be there to answer the questions, then yeah, do the Premiere. But if you don't have the time, then you're not gaining anything with it.
Yeah, well, that's like why I don't do that many Premieres, because if I done my video at 6 o'clock on a Thursday, and if I done it as a Premiere, I'm just finished work at 6, and I have to be straight in from work and then putting the video on and premiering it. And I don't want to put a video up too late because I have other stuff to do. So that's why I just schedule my videos to come on at 6 o'clock my time, which is 7 and whatever time it is in America. So I don't even have to be here. I usually have the video uploaded, and I just schedule to come on at that time, and that's it. So that's
from the other side. I do use my Premiere only at the longer videos, you know.
okay.
As far as like 20 minutes at least, then I do Premiere. If it's shorter, then I don't do, because there's not enough time to engage with the chat and so on.
Yep.
Yeah, but the shorter video, then if you're doing a Premiere, I'd see the shorter video being better, because you get the interaction straight away, and then you get it again later on when it's up again on the Premiere. So
I just see the opposite sign on my.
Yeah. But that's the same. That's the thing about YouTube and about channels and about the way people do. Everything's different, and just because you do it one way doesn't mean you're wrong or I'm right or you're right and I'm wrong. That's why I do say to people in my comments and stuff like that. If someone says to me, "Oh, you should be doing it this way, you should be doing it that way," I just put back, "This is the way I do it. It's my channel, and that's the way I do it, and it's the way I'm going to continue doing it. Just because you think I should do it a different way, it doesn't mean you're wrong, or it doesn't mean you're right. It's just your way of doing things." So same with your channel. If you think the Premiere works better for you,
to piss off.
well, I try and be a bit more polite, Nick.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just ask for it, right?
Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm going to make sure that Dumpster Jerry is still live before I put the link up.
Right, I'll catch it all late. I'm going to see if I can get kicked off any streams.
Okay, Nick. Have a good night. Thanks for
Hey, I done all right last night. I got up to 7.
Without getting kicked off.
Yeah.
You know, I just see Nick someday when he's going up to the pearly gates, and they're looking at the book, you know, and they're like, "No, we're sorry." And Nick says, "Well, fuck you. I didn't want to come here anyway. Piss off."
Yeah. I didn't like you anyway.
I've been kicked off better channels.
Yeah, but there's one thing, Sharky. I won't go to heaven or hell. I won't go to heaven because I'm scared of heights, and I won't go to hell because it's too bloody warm.
Stay where he is.
And I'll just come out from the middle part, so you're stuck in there.
No, I'll just come back. I'll just come back as a pigeon, and I'll shit on everyone.
That's even better.
Hey, Nick, thanks for being in.
All right, catch it all on the next one.
All right,
Take
Nick,
care.
take care, man.
Hey, buddy.
Good luck, Nick.
Catch you later.
Now I'm going to put the link in for. Oh yeah, I was going to say about my video. Hopefully, I'll have one out Thursday, but I'm not 100% sure.
Do you have something?
Do
you have some video up?
Hopefully I will if I edit it. If I don't get it finished in time editing, because I have an appointment tomorrow evening, so that gives me less time for editing. So that only leaves Wednesday then to do my editing and do my uploading and download it off the camera first onto the laptop, then whatever I need to edit out or change. So I may be cutting it tight for Thursday. If not, I'll leave it till the following Thursday, because I'm trying to stick on the Thursday. I don't want to switch to a different day. I switched to a different day 2 weeks ago by mistake, and I found the numbers weren't as good because people are used to certain days, and that's it, you know.
Scrapping Irish, as you go from PC, from your PC to your YouTube studio, you know, you got statistics, and then you see activity of your viewers. Where is most activity? So just do let's say 1 hour before the highest peak on that day, and then you will see the positive result. Yeah,
well, that's why I find Thursday at 6 o'clock my time seems to be the best for me. It seems to work the best. Any other day or any other times don't seem to be as good. So I just stick to that, and if it
I just tell you, go to the analytics, check out those tiny diagram where you see when your viewers watching the most, and you pick Thursday, and then you see where is your highest peak, and go like 1 hour before that and something like that. That's help a lot.
Yeah. Well, as I say, that's what I look at, and I'm never going to get rich from YouTube, but I also like to have the most amount of people see my video as possible at the same time. So
that's what we talk about, right?
Yeah. So here's the link, guys.
And of course, I'd watch your video no matter what day it came up.
Thanks, Shark. You're really good. I'll give you that $5 later. So if everyone wants to pop over to to Dumpster Jerry there and say hi to him. I'd appreciate that, because Dumpster's another good channel I like watching. So that's it for me, guys. So that's Dumpster Jerry's link. If you want to put Scrap and Irish Raid in the chat when you go over, all the better. So
Take care, everybody.
thanks for being on, and hopefully I'll have organised a guest for next Monday. If not, you're stuck with me.
Okay, so take care, Irish. Take care, Sharky.
Bye-bye.
Take care, all chat. Great to talk with you.